Uh, Good afternoon, class. This is EDU211 class, Philosophy of Education. Our topic of today is Pragmatism and Education. Basic principle of pragmatism. Changing nature of truth. Pragmatists do not believe in predetermined truth. Therefore, truth is always undergoing changes according to time and place. So the pragmatists, unlike other schools of thought, they have their own view, different from that of idealism and realism. So, as for idealism, believe that truth is always stable, but the pragmatists refuse or contest that position by saying that truth is a changing nature. Truth is formed from its result. That is the second principle. Pragmatists believe that truth is not a fix. Therefore, truth is relatively from which changes according to the stages of development and situation which confronted a man in his process of growth and development. This means that truth is formed from its result, that in whatever situation, in whatever activities engaged by man, the outcome of that activity, the result that come up from it, from his own test, from his own verification, it now form the truth. So truth at any point is came as a result of after the final process. Truth is the end product of a test. The principle of unity. Pragmatism is a utilitarian ideology which holds that the reality of principle lie on its reality. That is, when something is truth or when something works, it works with it works according to people views or people interaction. When people interact and agree on a certain thing, believe that that thing is truth. Then principle of social democratic value. Pragmatists believe that man is a social being. He is born in a society and all his development takes place in and through society. Therefore, pragmatists upheld social and democratic value. Importance of activities. Pragmatists lay great emphasis on activity rather than theoretical based knowledge advocated by idealists. So the importance of activities. The importance of activities is more important than others' view or other ideas or experience emphasized by idealism and pragmatism and realism. So pragmatists believe that no matter the experience or ideas, that ideas must be put into test. Development of pragmatism as a school of thought. Pragmatism was captured from Greek words. Pragma mean activities or the work done. Therefore, from the above historical point of view, imply that pragmatism and all its principles lie great emphasis on practicability and utility of ideas and experience through verification. Pragmatists held that an activity is true if and only if and only if such activities or experience is completely done on the basis of result, ideas derived from its outcome. Pragmatism is an American-based school of thought, propounded by three great philosophers. Unlike idealism, realism, naturalism was propounded by a single philosopher. But here, the American society came up with a new school of thought known as pragmatism, and the propounders are Charles Santa Pierce, William James, and John Dewey. These great men believed that if ideas work are true, Such ideas have, in their vast range, contributed to the societal growth and development. Therefore, all ideas and experience must be tested, and the outcome of them help to solve human problem continuously. So Americans become what they are today as a result of this school of thought. So the American people or American philosopher believe that no matter how no matter how a society is, if such society would like to grow up or would like to develop, so the aspect, the ideas emphasized by idealism and the experience emphasized by realism. So the pragmatists, on their own view, believe that no matter these ideas and experience, all these ideas must be tested. So the outcome of this or the result that came out from this test will now constitute a real thing and will now constitute a way forward. A way forward in the sense that this result help continue to help man to overcome or to solve his problem continuously. And any result that came out from test that could not solve human problem will not be valid according to pragmatism. And not only pragmatism, all other school, all other people, or all other co-pragmatists who practice or who hold that pragmatism really is a school of thought. Pragmatists and metaphysics. Pragmatists in general are not interested in the kind of metaphysics that try to understand the ultimate nature of things. Hence, they oppose to the idealists and idealist mental or spiritual conception of unchanging reality and the stable material view of the reality. In view of the above, pragmatists would like to stress the following. Unlike the pragmatists, idealists, and the realists, the pragmatists, the realists believe that the physical environment or the physical things or the material world is real. And the idealists believe that the immaterial world is real. The immaterial world is more important than the material world. And therefore, the idealists would like to emphasize on the spiritual conception or the mind and soul. But the realists, on their own position, disregard the importance of the idealists, upheld to the material things of the universe, that what the environment provides is real, and anything that the environment cannot provide is not real. So therefore, the pragmatists came up with their own view, different from this school of thought, that for everything to be real or for everything to be true, they believe that all the meaning of things or all what we believe as soul, as mind, or as real must be tested. Therefore, the pragmatists would like to argue up their point as follows. They are not interested in the traditional issues in metaphysics. These traditional issues in metaphysics comprises the idealist and the realist point of view. The system of meaning we acquire through interaction constitutes knowledge. So, according to the pragmatists, the sharing of decision, the interaction between men in the society, or whatever they agree upon, become or constitute mind. So, like the realist who says that the physical things are real, and the idealist says the mind is real. But according to the pragmatist, what constitutes mind is as a result of human interaction. It's as a result of human agreement. Traditional conception in metaphysics, such as mind, soul, and spirit, cannot be acted upon for effect to be noted. That is, the traditional metaphysics, such as mind, soul, and spirit, cannot be acted upon. But to the pragmatists, believe that what constitutes mind and soul, or what constitutes spirit, is what passed through test, or what was verified continuously, or the outcome of this result The outcome of our verification continues to help man in solving his immediate problem continuously. The universe is continuously undergoes changes. So pragmatists in their metaphysics, as a result, as the environment continuous changes from one stage to another, and human behavior is also changes according to environmental factors. So the issue that stressed by idealists as the world is unchangeable or the mind is unchangeable. So as the world continues undergoes changes according to pragmatist metaphysics, that shows that the realities of things also change. So truth is not stable. Truth always change as a result of human behavior, as a result of environmental changes. Reality is determined by what are experienced through interaction. So metaphysics, the pragmatist metaphysics believe that reality is determined by what experienced through what interaction. So what I experience today may not be the same thing as what I will experience tomorrow. Or what I experience in this environment cannot be the same thing as what the other people are experiencing in their own environment. Therefore, truth is not constant. Truth is undergoes changes. Then pragmatics and epistemology. Epistemology or theory of knowledge. The pragmatists, unlike other school of thought, have their own way, have their own view on epistemology. So, in as much as pragmatists emphasize on utility or the work done, so the only way that knowledge is acquired when not the consequence of an action. When not an consequence of an action implies that when experience and ideas are tested, so the consequence, that is the result of such an action, constitute a knowledge, constitute a source of knowledge. So anything that man puts into test, the outcome of that or the consequence, the outcome of such test constitute a source of knowledge. So sources of knowledge as intuition or revelation emphasized by idealists is not more important by the pragmatists. Knowledge is created through interaction. That is, knowledge is created through interaction. That interaction of men in the society, interaction of men on whatever they experience. Because men will not, in the society, will not experience the same thing. Everybody will experience different things, or everybody will have ideas on different things. But what this experience, if this experience are being shared together by men, and whatever we agree upon or whatever the society agree upon constitute knowledge. Knowledge is acquired through scientific method, which is the reliable source above other. Unlike the traditional school of thought, the realists, the idealists, and the naturalists, the pragmatists in their own epistemologies emphasize on scientific method because scientific method has to do with experiment. Scientific method has to do with test or verification of answers. Any answers that are agreed upon must be verified or tested or conduct or tested. So the outcome of this test constitute human knowledge. And the outcome of this test, if help to solve human problem, constitute knowledge. And not only immediate problem, this result constitute to help to solve man problem continuously. There is no absolute truth. Truth is always changing. As a result, in as much as pragmatists emphasize on their metaphysics or emphasize on their principles, so truth in society or truth is not absolute. Truth is not stable, unlike other school of thought emphasize, especially the idealists. Truth is always changes as result as the environment change, so truth is also changes, and truth is not constant because men live in different environments. So what is truth here or what is true today may not be the same truth tomorrow, or what is true in this environment may be false in another environment. Pragmatist theory of truth is instrumentalism. That is, an idea is true if it works or provides a satisfactory result. So anything that works, or any ideas that works, or any experience that works or provides satisfactory results continuously that helped to overcome our immediate problems continuously constitute human knowledge. Then, pragmatist ideology or theory of value. The society we are is comprises of many things. So therefore, there are no absolute value. All value derive from human needs and desire. Pragmatists entertain the consequence and theory of ethics. They view that an action or idea can only be judged by the consequence it produces. So what we value is what was tested, and the result of that test is positive or helped to solve our immediate problem. Then that thing is value. Anything that was tested and that outcome could not help man or could not help us to solve our immediate problem cannot be valued. Any experience or ideas that have not been tested cannot be valued. Pragmatists entertain the consequence theory of ethics. They view that an action or idea can only be judged by the consequences it produces. That is, an action will be judged according to its own result, according to the outcomes, according to the end product of what was tested or what was experienced. So our experience and our ideas must be tested. So the outcomes it produces, it can be what? Valued. For instance, the pragmatists in their own principle believe on the principle of utility. Anything that works to solve our problem continuously will be valued. So anything that could not work or anything that cannot be tested cannot be valued. Pragmatist aims of education. Inasmuch as pragmatists emphasize on their branches of philosophy, metaphysics, epistemology, and axiology. So pragmatics, unlike other school of thought, have their own view on education. So education should develop the child's intellectual ability. Education, the aim of education, pragmatists emphasize on acquisition of vocational skills. That is, those skills that help man, to change his physical environment to suit his own survival. Pragmatists also emphasize on the promotion of democratic ideas in educational practice. The democratic ideas it comprises the principle of equality, the principle of freedom of the child, the principle of consultation, the principle of planning the curriculum according to the interests and needs of the child. Pragmatists also emphasize on the promotion of lifelong education. A lifelong education comprises the pre-primary, the primary, the junior primary, junior secondary school, and senior secondary school. Above all is tertiary institution. So lifelong education by pragmatists mean that a child from nursery school will easily transit to primary school, and from primary you transit to junior secondary school. So there is no way that a school or junior or primary school will be in different environment. In their schools, they believe that a child transits from nursery school to primary school in the same environment, from primary school to secondary school or junior secondary school in the same environment. Pragmatists also emphasize on the development of self-reliance, having acquired the desired skills, having acquired the desired knowledge from pragmatist education. This education should help the child to be self-reliant. The knowledge acquired should help the child to be self-reliant, to operate his own business, to operate on his own without waiting for others or waiting for government work. So the knowledge acquired, the child use that knowledge to be self-reliant in the sense that he can use the knowledge acquired to establish himself or to establish his own industries or a company. Pragmatist curriculum of education. The curriculum emphasized by pragmatists believe that the curriculum should be adapted to real problem solving. That is, the curriculum of studies should be designed in line with the real problems of the society. Two, it is integrated and organized around active occupation. That is, the curriculum of study should be organized comprises of vocational subjects such as mental work, engineering, medicine, and all kind of vocational work. Then three, it is activity and learner center based curriculum. That is, pragmatists in their own curriculum, unlike idealists and realists, the idealists emphasize teacher center based curriculum. The realists emphasize subject based curriculum. The pragmatists on their own school, on their own curriculum, emphasize learner center based curriculum or child center activity. That is, the child will have something to contribute in his learning or in his own teaching. That the child, the system, the curriculum should have comprises of all the instructional material that the child will play with or that will help the child to learn very easily. Four, pragmatists emphasize on science and skill-based subjects are to be taught in schools. Emphasize on science subjects and skill-based subjects to be taught in schools. The curriculum should be designed according to the needs and interests of the learner. That is, the curriculum should be designed according to the needs and interests of the learner. The curriculum of the pre-primary should be according to their age. The curriculum of the primary should be designed according to their age. The curriculum of the secondary school should be designed according to their age. So any curriculum according to pragmatism should be designed according to the interests of the child. The curriculum should not be stronger than the age. The curriculum should not be the one that is above their own age. That they emphasize the curriculum should be designed from simple to complex. The curriculum should also be designed from general to specific and not from specific to general. Method of teaching. Unlike other school of thoughts, have their own method of teaching. The pragmatists would like to emphasize the following method of teaching: learning by doing. Hence, pragmatists emphasize on activity or utility or work done. So learning by doing is more recommended as a method of teaching in pragmatic school. Method of teaching should be related to learner interest and experience. that the method of teaching should be the one that will convince the learner to learn very easily. The method of teaching should be the one that will motivate the learner to learn very easily. The method of teaching should go in line with the available instructional materials in the classroom. So the method of teaching should go in line with the topic in question, with the aim of an objective of the teaching, with the instructional materials available. If the instructional materials are not available, will the improvised instructional material within the school environment. So the method of teaching should be related to learner interest. The learner interest, you cannot teach or bring or use instructional material that the learner could not see. The instructional material must be visible. The instructional material, the learner can touch, they can also play with them. So the teaching method should be related to learner interest and experience. Teaching begins from immediate and practical for the general and analytic. So the teaching should start from simple to complex, from the immediate, from their entry ability to specific. The role of the teacher in pragmatic school. The teacher must be a guide and very knowledgeable enough in his subject area. The teacher must know what he is doing. The teacher must be the owner of his own subject. The teacher must be the owner of the class. Not that the teacher will teach and what he will teach is different from the syllabus or from what the curriculum content, from the curriculum content, or his instructional material will be different from his own teaching. So the teacher must be a guide and he must be the owner of his own subject. And a teacher must be well equipped with both theoretical and practical activities. You cannot be a theoretical teacher, or you can teach theoretically or without practical, or you can teach theoretically and you lack knowledge how to use your own instructional material. So a teacher must be the owner of his own subject. 2, he must be creative, friendly, democratic, and open-minded. There are teachers that are very harsh. There are teachers that cannot entertain student questions. There are teachers that are not democratic in nature. So pragmatics emphasize that a pragmatic teacher must be creative, friendly, democratic, and open-minded. Of all our discussion on pragmatism, how does pragmatism influences Nigerian education? Nigerian education borrow from one school of thought to another to harmonize our own education. So, influence of pragmatism on the Nigerian education system. 1, increasing integration of Nigerian school curriculum. 2, lifelong education is the basis of the country educational policies. For instance, the past system of program on Nigerian education, or the first program on Nigerian education, 6334, and now the current program on Nigerian educational system is 934. This was borrowed from pragmatism. If you go to American schools, pragmatism is there, and the 6334 system are practiced in American society schools. And presently, the 934 system, which is lifelong education, a child from primary to junior secondary school, which is 9 years, and 3 years is for senior secondary school, 4 years is for tertiary institution or tertiary education. So as this is found in the national policy in Nigerian education. So Nigerian borrow from American school of thought to harmonize our educational system. Nigerian educational system places more emphasis on the development of scientific and reflective thinking. Nigerian education have changed from traditional methods or traditional programs handed down to us by the colonialism. As from 1976, Nigeria introduced a new program on education, which the emphasis is on scientific and reflective thinking, or scientific and science and technology. All the teachers' colleges were converted to government college and government sciences. This was as result to promote scientific education in the country. And this was borrowed from pragmatism. Pragmatic method of teaching, learning by doing, and project method are becoming increasing popular in Nigerian education. So, Nigerian borrow from pragmatism the method of learning by doing, that is, learning by doing, you teach along way with your own instructional material. When you teach, you present your own instructional material. Then after teaching, you engage the learner. You give them assignment or test so that they should use the instructional material to answer the questions. So learning by doing and project method was borrowed from American method of teaching, or pragmatics method of teaching. Nigerian education emphasizes or stresses skill acquisition. If you go to, or if you have read Nigerian national policy on education, and if you go to so many universities, college of education, polytechnics, emphasis lie on skills acquisition. So skill acquisition or vocational subjects or vocational skills, this was borrowed from pragmatic system of pragmatic school of thought. The Nigerian curriculum is tailored to meet the needs of the Nigerian society. So the curriculum was designed according to our own society, according to the problem of our own country. So how do we use, or how do we develop our country? Now the Nigerian educators came up with a view that we have to borrow from this school of thought to harmonize our educational system. And that is why our educational policy, it is purely an indigenous policy on education, as against the policy on education handed over to us by the colonialism. So integration, Nigerian pragmatism has influenced Nigerian education in numerous ways, but few aspects were selected for the purpose of this study. So pragmatism, unlike other schools of thought, like naturalism, idealism, they have contributed to the development, or they have contributed to the growth and development of Nigerian educational system. Our study question is, pragmatism is concerned with the philosophy of vocability discourse. 2. Briefly describe the following: pragmatist metaphysics, pragmatist epistemology, pragmatist ideology or theory of knowledge. These questions are for your own consumption. You study them in your good times. When we meet in the next class, we will now answer them before we continue with our next topic. Thank you.